Sean Diddy Combs' trial date has been set for May 2025, but it might be pushed back. 5 new allegations have been brought forward. We're going to get into it. Let's go. Thank you so much for joining the Billy Flynn Experience. I'm your host, Billy Flynn. I just wanted to try a new track. I don't know, just a new intro track here, but thank you so much for joining the Billy Flynn Experience. I am your host, Billy Flint, and you're coming live here in Germany. Yes, as we said, the trial date. Well, first off, let me just begin with... I'm going to begin with this because I had to take a break. I really did. I had to take a break and pull away from the internet because it's just been getting a little bit too much, with this. As we reported last week, I think it was last week, the last time I had a podcast, and I was saying that we are being inundated with this Sean Diddy Combs news, and it seems like everyone is just all feeding from each other and basically regurgitating the same thing over and over and over and over again. So I just needed to take a break to clear my mind, to refocus, to to get some new information, if anything, if there is any new information, because as of now, the latest is the 5, and everyone is saying 5 new cases, but these are actual cases from the lawyer out in coming out of Houston, Tony Busby. Tony Busby. I knew that sounded funny when I said it, but coming out of Houston, Texas, Tony Busby and his so-called 120 cases that he has on his books, and these are the 5 that he decided to file. And I think it was 2 Jane Does and 3 John Does. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, and he decided to actually file those 5. So I guess everyone is saying it's 2 new 5 cases or 2 new allegations that are come up. But again, these are actual cases that Tony Busby is working on. But before we get into that, I was thinking, just before I started the podcast, I was thinking about Jaguar Wright. I don't know, I haven't been seeing her videos, or at least her outrage on anyone's podcast or platform. Has anyone? I hope Jaguar Wright is okay. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe she has information out there. Maybe she's sat down with some other podcast, but I haven't seen her. Has anyone seen Jaguar Wright? I don't know. It's awfully quiet. Is she there? Jaguar Wright? Okay. Seriously, she was actually on 5150. That is the Corey Holcomb's show on YouTube, and I didn't watch all of it, but I catch just a little bit of it. And from what I was watching, she's not the same Jaguar Wright. She wasn't yelling. She wasn't screaming. And she wasn't really in her conspiracy theory bag. And I guess that's what made it seem kind of, I don't know, it was kind of boring. She wasn't really talking about much but her music, and she pretty much took over the Corey Holcomb show. And the Corey Holcomb, his co-host of this show is Darlene Ortiz, and Craig. The gentleman goes by Craig, and they usually have a very unique banter with the three of them, and it's pretty funny. If no one has actually watched the Corey Holcomb show, I would suggest to go by there because it is funny. He's a comedian. He's very funny. He's very talented. But today, the show was like it wasn't funny to me. Again, Jaguar Wright seemed to be as if she had taken over the show completely. And again, Corey Holcomb's co-hosts were just pretty much kind of sat back in the background, and Jaguar Wright did most of the talking. And again, she pretty much talked about her career, and she talked about other comedians, and it wasn't the same Jaguar Wright, and I can understand why. Because I'm thinking that no other platform is going to have her on their show or on their sofa or sitting at the desk or wherever she's at on whomever platform there is on YouTube. I don't think anyone is really going to have her on there because of what happened, as everyone should know by now, the debacle that took place on Piers Morgan's show, and where Sean Jay-Z Carter lawyer had to send an ultimatum to Piers Morgan. Told him to take it down or suffer the consequences from a judge. So, again, she was on Corey Holcomb's 5150, and my opinion was it wasn't the same Jaguar Wright. So, I hope that she is doing well, and I don't know, maybe she might have changed her tune. This might be her 15 minutes is up. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Maybe not. But again, she's not the Jaguar Wright that we all are familiar with. But getting back to the story of these 5 new cases that propped up. Again, there was 2 Jane Does and 3 John Does. And it's interesting, to say the least. And we're going to get into that. But first, there has been another viral individual that has popped up on my timeline. And this was my timeline on Instagram. And a few actually showed up on my TikTok account. This young lady goes by the name of Tania. I remember now when I first seen the first video of her. It was like a short on YouTube, and the first time I seen it, I was thinking back because she has been on this platform called the Soft White Underbelly. And when I saw the short, I was thinking, I was like, okay, I don't really watch the Soft White Underbelly, but I remember seeing a few of the episodes, and I kind of took it that, okay, this is a guy who goes out throughout LA and he talks to a lot of the homeless people and a lot of people who have trouble with addictions. So I remember a couple of years ago, and I think maybe it was around the pandemic and after the pandemic is when I was watching a few of his programs. But I remember seeing Tania. I remember seeing the first one, and I thought it was pretty interesting because the first one that she premiered on. She was talking about her being what are they called? Sugar babies. And for those who don't know what a sugar baby is, and well, the definition, I'm going to walk lightly on this, but their definition is a younger lady who was looking for a sponsor for them, or a sponsor to pay for their lifestyle, their needs in life, their clothing, their jewelry, or whatever. But I would say it's more or less like a sugar daddy, a sugar baby type situation, where it's a symbiotic relationship where it's exchanging of favors, let's put it that way. And she was on the Soft White Underbelly, and she was talking about her lifestyle as a sugar baby, and the fact that she has, at the time, she had 5 children that she was trying to take care of. And that's where I remember, once I seen this short on YouTube, I was like, okay, I do remember her. So I decided to listen to the new, because apparently she's been on there 3 different times. So the last time had to have been maybe, or at least the last posting was, I think, 3 or 4 days ago. It could have been maybe during the summertime he decided to post it now, but it showed up, the full interview shows up. And she has been lighting up YouTube with her story of being at one of Sean Diddy's parties in Florida, which made it very interesting to me because, again, all of these allegations are coming up. All of a sudden, everybody has been to a party. Everyone has been experiencing these, I don't know what you want to call it, but these acts from Sean Diddy Combs and his partners in crime, I would say. And everyone is talking about it. You know, a lot of these victims, it's gotten to the point now where it's very hard to really figure out which is truthful based on which is stories for clout, stories or allegations and lawsuits for a payout, a bag, as they say. But I'm not here to judge. But what I did do was I listened to her recent interview on Soft White Underbelly. And it's an incredible story. And I'm reading the comments on his page in the comment section, and it seems as though everyone is believing every word that she's saying. Of course, everyone is believing everything. But I'm a different individual where I like to do research, and I like to dig deep and pay attention to what is being said and reading between the lines. And that's how I formulate my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion on this subject, but we're going to play part of the interview. Now, what I did for the continuity of the interview, I re-edited the interview to mask his questions so you can really pay attention to her voice control, and the overall flow of her story. And that way people would be able to hear, again, the overall flow of her story, the voice pitch, and you can pretty much make up your mind to how you formulate your own opinions on the story. This is an incredible story, mind you. But we're going to play a piece of it. I want you to listen to it. Listen to it to the end if you can, because it is very, very interesting. And it's even more interesting because of the fact that there is no other voice. It's just her story from start to finish. So I'm going to listen to it.
I accidentally mentioned it too. Like it slipped out about P. Diddy. Yeah. Crazy party. And they didn't believe me. But when it started coming out, people were like mentioning me like, you were telling the truth about it. And I'm like, duh, I'm not going to lie about something like that. And I kind of like tried to briefly talk about it because I knew it wasn't going to seem true because it was just too much. It was too crazy. People were going to think that I was just lying. It had like a lot of people involved, celebrities and stuff. So I was trying to be real vague about it. But that party traumatized me by being with a prince that I met in L.A. He lived in Glendale, California. And, long story short, I got out of this crazy little contract and I...
Okay, I'm going to try not to do this throughout the her story, but I feel the need to stop and pause at some point because of the story and what her unique way of telling the story. And the first thing that popped up in my mind is she said that she was with a prince. Okay, some Saudi prince, some Middle Eastern prince. She was hanging out with this individual, and I guess this is one of the sugar daddies or whatever you want to call them. And the reason that I stopped there because you have to think back to, I don't know how many people have ever heard of the stories of Instagram models going over to Dubai, known within that realm of Instagram is that they are called porta potty parties, in which the Saudi prince or whomever, the rich Arabs over in the Middle East, in that part of the Middle East, go on to Instagram and they choose these quote unquote Instagram models to come back to their country and party. And when I say party, they do more than just party. And the things that they do, and I say this because there has been many Instagram models that came out and actually told the story of what they experience. What they do over there in Dubai will put Sean Diddy Combs' crimes to shame. Okay. I'm going to just leave it there. I'm going to get back to the story.
I was looking for somebody to invest in me. And I knew somebody who knew somebody that was like, I want to introduce you to a prince. He know a lot of celebrities, producers and stuff. So I never put two and two together that this prince knew P. Diddy. He was a Arabian prince, and he really was a prince for real. But I wasn't worried about him being a prince. I was worried about who he actually knew. So when he invited me to, he met me, he said, I want to invite you tomorrow to Music Ultra Week, whatever. And it's like an event, Ultra Music Week. It's like an event for like 2 weeks where people party, including P. Diddy. And they party at Club Live. They party at like just in South Beach, Star Island, like where P. Diddy stays or throw his freak offs at. And I never knew that we were going to go there because I was there for 2 weeks and I knew it was something fishy. He kept saying, I got a surprise for you. I got a surprise for you. I'm like, but I'm only supposed to stay for 2 weeks and I'm here longer than 2 weeks. And it was almost a month. It was basically a month by then. And he was like, no, because I just want you to meet one special person. So.
Okay, so what she is saying is that, to bring this to understanding, because it gets kind of confusing. It's kind of all over the place, her story. But she has been living with this so-called prince for a month in his mansion in California. Okay. So he wants to take her to meet Diddy. So I guess this is the point to where she's actually going to go to Diddy. So she's been with him for a month in California.
He ended up telling me, like, when we went to Club Live, he was like, guess where we're going tonight? I'm like, where? He's like, to P. Diddy's house. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, that's crazy because I hear a lot about P. Diddy, and I'm like, his house for what? Like, to go sing? He's like, no, he's throwing this wild party, da-da-da. I'm like, oh, okay. So we went from Club Live. It ended at, like, the clubs end at, like, 3 or 4, and not 2, like how out here is. So we waited around the mansion, the Prince's mansion, for about an hour. And then as soon as 6:30 hit, we went. We all got in the car, like a big Uber, and me and all the other girls. Now, mind you, I'm the only black girl. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm about to meet P. Diddy. Oh, like, I'm probably going to have to sing for him.
Okay, again. Now, she says that she got to P. Diddy's house in Florida at 6:30 in the morning. Keep that in mind.
And I just tried to, like, keep my composure. So we get there, and that's when stuff got weird. And that's why they lock up our phones, because they know what we see in there, it's he can get in trouble, like right now. So basically, we arrived, security guard patted us down. They put our phone in this little bubble case. So the bubble case is closed. They can't get unlocked until we walk out. So as we're in there, the only way of us taking any type of pictures is if we get in the photo booth. He has like a Team Love photo booth or whatever. Take like 4 pictures. So I, got pictures. I still got everything in my Snap too, like of the photos, everything. That's all you could get. So I'm walking.
Okay, so she says that she did take pictures outside of the home before, from what she's telling, before she went into the house. So she is saying that she has proof that she was there. Keep that in mind.
Walking around or whatever, so one of his sons, I'm not going to tell you which one, but it was like recruiting like whoever they wanted to go inside the house, because the freak off is inside the house and in the backyard. So you have the pool, and they're playing loud house music. Like, Mark, the house music, it makes you feel kind of woozy, first of all, because it's like a rave or something. Dun, 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 and it's real loud. So you can't really see nothing, but you're seeing everybody like walking around, drunk, hopping around. It's still 7 a.m. So the sun is like coming up, and
she says 6:30.
People are walking around naked, period. Let's get into it. They're walking around naked already, and they're in the pool skinny dipping, and they're drinking mimosas in the pool, but then it's like a waitress walking around giving people drinks, just passing people drinks, and people are just taking them. Me, I don't drink like that, but I'm like an occasional drinker. Like, I'll drink if we're partying or whatever, just for that occasion. So, because people are going to keep saying, drink, drink, drink. But I didn't take a drink yet. But I just had it in my hand. So one of the sons seen me walking. Mind you, I'm with other girls, but we split up. So I was walking with one girl. She's a Puerto Rican girl. So P. Diddy's son was like, you. And I'm like, me or her? And then he was like, no, you. Come here. So I went to him, and he gave me some shoes. So these shoes was like some terry cloth, like robe shoes, white shoes. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these? He was like, go in the house with these. He was like, everybody who gets these shoes, you get to go in the house. But I'm thinking you could just go in the house if you want to, but everybody can't go in the house. They're literally selectively picking who they want. So I'm like, well, what about my friend? He was like, no, only you. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm holding the shoes. I'm walking around. You know, I'm a good, loyal friend. I'm not going to go inside a house where they say my friend can't go. So we just walking around mingling. But we tripping out, looking at everybody like they off everything smoking and jumping around like hooligans. And so I seen P. Diddy or whatever, and I seen him with the Prince. I'm not going to say what he was doing, but something really, I get real nervous. Something real crazy, because I don't like to really expose people. I could talk about me, but when it's about, like me, my family, because it's us. But when it's other people, bro, doing something real sexual, that's all I'm going to say.
So she's saying that she got her chance to walk into the house, and now she is seeing Sean Combs with the Prince doing something freaky. Keep that in mind.
So that we can see and so that we can get turned on, okay? So he's doing something with himself. And I'm like, girl, do you see him? She's like, yes. But mind you, we're screaming like, girl, do you see him? Oh, my God. Because of the...
Okay, now she said that she left her friend outside because one of P. Diddy's sons only picked her to come into the house. And now she is saying she's with her friend. Keep that in mind.
The music. And I'm just like, whatever. Then he starts to act like really obnoxious, like, I'm the king of the world, jumping around, doing all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, that's regular P. Diddy shit. But what got me was how he walked up to me and was like, why are you not in the house? And I'm like, what do you mean? He like, how are you enjoying my house? So we had a little talk or whatever. He started talking about all these things. Oh, yeah, you're the one that, you know, I seen was telling me about the Prince. He's like, oh, yeah, it's very nice to meet you. Like, your life is not going to be the same, da-da-da-da. We started talking about going to Cuba. Are you going to Cuba with us? I'm like, what? And that's the thing. I didn't really know about this. So this is when I start asking around or whatever. And I said that in the last interview. But to get to the point, I ended up going in the house because he was on me, like, go in that house. I'm like, okay. And then the person that he was dating at that time, we're not going to say her name, but we all know, she came and was like looking at him like, what are you doing? Because he was talking to me for too long. So she came to like rub on his shoulders or whatever, and he just pushed her. And I'm looking like real uncomfortable, like, oh, I know what this is about. I don't want to be in the middle of there, whatever. So that's what made me go into the house, because I'm like, okay, let me just go in the house. So I told my friend, like, wait right here, girl, let me just put on these shoes, see what this house is about. Walk up in there.
Okay, now, I thought that she was already in the house, but apparently she wasn't in the house yet, but she said that she was in the house. Again, this story keeps changing, and it's all over the place, so try to follow.
Judge people, because at the time I was just smoking weed. But you know when people are out of their mind, and you know when people, you know what you don't want to be a part of, and it's just like I'm seeing stuff that you see on the movies. This corner, this got going on. This corner, they over here doing this. This corner, they over there having sex. This corner, I'm just going to say, because I don't know what I can say, because I'm not trying to be incriminating myself, but they were dressed up like little Harajuku Barbies. Little people, okay? We're not.
Okay, now, she's saying Harajuku Barbies. And those who don't know what a Harajuku is, it's a term used over in Japan where girls dress up like, almost like anime characters, like Barbie dolls, kind of like dolls. And the number one person who made it famous in America was Nicki Minaj. And in her early career, she was dressing up like an anime character, where she wore the bright wigs and the bright makeup and the bright clothing, and that's where she turned herself Barbie. And you know what it is. So that's what a Harajuki is.
I'm going to say what type of little people, but like a fetish. And I'm looking like, what are they doing here? Like dressed up, little red lipstick, like they weren't supposed to be there. But I'm just looking like maybe it's some type of production going on. But why would they be at this party at 7 o'clock in the morning with grown people? Like, why would they be here? So I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, but then when I'm looking in this corner, this person laid out, and I'm looking like, what's going on? Then I'm seeing like Instagram models or whatever. I'm like, oh, hey. So I'm kind of getting distracted, feeling like kind of comfortable. Like, she's here? Oh, my gosh, she's here. And then I see P. Diddy, walking through the house, like, with his eyes on me. Like, like, is this, you see, like, are you agreeing with this? And I don't. Now, mind you, I still got my friend out there. So I walked out of the house and I'm telling her, like, oh my God, bitch. Like, this is, oh my God, she like for real? But I'm just like, I'm not even tripping. Like, oh, well, like, this nigga's weird. Like, so I'm really looking at the situation like, I don't even want to be involved in this type of stuff because once I see something, I can't get it out of my mind. And I'm like a hypochondriac. Like, I keep on having flashbacks about it. So, whatever. So, of course, I come out, and then here he goes again. And another rapper, well-known rapper, comes and starts feeling on me like, hey, you. So now it just seems like everybody is faded at this point. They're either drunk or on all the drugs, obviously, with this house music. So now I just feel like trapped in. Like, I don't like it. And I know the devil when I see it. Because by me being so spiritual and tapped in, I know when something is not right. I'm not judging, but I just don't want to be a part of it because how am I going to get out of this shit? Like, I'm already here. And then I heard conversations or whatever. And then P. Diddy was like, that's the one that I want. I want her. So now I feel like, they plotting on me. Like, did you bring me here on purpose? Like, is this the, producer you was talking about? And I came here specifically with the Prince to rub elbows with people, to network for the music week. But then I put two and two together like, the Prince have been saying your life is never going to be the same. You're going to be happy. Somebody's expecting you. And I just feel like that was the time that I was going to get sex trafficked or, drugged or something like that. And then they kept trying to make me, like, I've been around celebrities before. If a rapper wants you or somebody wants you, they're not going to do it. They're going to send somebody else to do it. So if a waitress is coming or another girl or a pretty girl or a guy, they'll sick somebody on you. Like, take this drink, do this, do that. And then you just feel eyes on you, like watching to see if you're going to do it, when you're going to do it. So I already know what time it was. And it's crazy because I had to leave that place. In my last interview, I told you I had to escape. I had to leave from the Prince because he was telling me we was leaving for Cuba the next day. Cuba with who? With P. Diddy or what? Like, this is all crazy. So to see all of this stuff come out, and I escaped by leaving. I had to call the police and everything. I had to leave with the Prince. That's another story. From the Prince, from that house. I didn't leave with the other girls. I had to get my phone unlocked, of course, but like I had to like catch a taxi, not even an Uber, a taxi to another location, and then I ended up going to the airport, and I ended up leaving because I just felt bamboozled. First, I'm getting lied to about how long I'm supposed to stay there. Then you keep talking about I'm supposed to meet this producer, but we're not talking about nothing with music, but you're talking about going to Cuba. We didn't even do what we were supposed to do in Miami, or did we do what we were supposed to do in Miami at this freak-off? But because I'm not.
Okay, now she's saying that she left because she was not told the truth, but she was living with this Prince for a month. Remember, she was living with this Prince for a month in LA. They take a trip to Florida. They hang out at Live, which is a popular nightclub in Florida. And the Prince began to tell her that, well, we're going to go to another party after we leave the club. So this is her story. This is what she's saying. But again, as I said at the beginning, that this incredible story that she's saying is all over the place. It's all over the place, and it's kind of hard to follow. But if you break it down, it start not to make a lot of sense. But we're going to finish.
Cooperating with what I see, and I feel like that's what the Illuminati and stuff is about, like a secret society. Like, they want to see what you allow, what you cool with, and then Next thing you know, boom, take that drink, you're drugged. Take that, you're out of it. Take that pill, because everybody was off something. But you had to be, being in that environment, like hundreds. Even when it was a certain amount outside, but in the house was really crowded. You know what I'm saying? And you would think that, like, it was more people in the house. I walked around for about 5 minutes. I seen what I need to see. And I was like, no, ma'am. No, sir. Because it was like selling your soul at that house. And if you like that, it's nothing to you. But if you're not like that, you're going to feel uncomfortable. And then it's like, at first I used to think P. Diddy was like, so he always talk about team love and all of this stuff. Like he's all about, no, he all about sex, himself. And I know sex because I've dealt with men. So I know when somebody is trying to lead you on to stuff and sitting back acting like he just this macho man. And he is a charmer, though. That's one thing. Like, he will charm the fuck out of you. But for me, that's so game tight. I'm like, I know what this is. And I'm ready to get to the music. Like, if that's the case, you should have been like, don't tell me you about to change my life and da-da-da. And, oh, have you been writing? Oh, that's another thing, too. He was like, have you been writing the songs that I seen been telling you to write? Because the Prince wanted me to write out all the songs I ever made in my life. I said, without the beat? He's like, yeah, just start writing songs. So you never know. They'll take my music, drug me, fuck me, do whatever, and just throw me away, basically. Or after you have something on me, when we do the music, you have that on me that this happened, and now I'm blackmailed or some shit like that. So touching all on me at that party, even the rapper who touched all on me, like, that rapper was cool. Like, I was liking that rapper. But when they were like, hey, you, and doing all that, what can I do? All I could do is just say, like, move his hand like, oh, I'm fine, but, trying to, like, still be cool. But I'm like, why do everybody feel comfortable to just touch on you? Even P. Diddy, like, why I look up and you're right there? And then, like, in my face, like, are you, like, in my house? Like, it's weird. Like, looking at him is like when you're a kid and you're getting in trouble by your parent and you can't look them in their face. And it's like a demon. I'm telling you, like this dark spirit, like he possessing you as he's looking at you. That power, that control. So I'm like, I read The Art of Seduction, motherfucker. I know what you're doing. And you're trying to really seduce me right now. And, oh, take a drink. Oh, do this, do that. Go in there. Like it's just not nothing. And I want to know, why me go in the house and why not the girl? So now you're picking and choosing. So it's fishy to me. So when all this stuff started coming out, I was like, I knew I was right. I knew it. Like, it ain't no doubt about that P. Diddy was doing all that. And like I say, I don't judge because I've been around people doing cocaine. But these hard drugs that they was doing and just, I ain't gonna lie, it was orgies and stuff going on. So all of this stuff going on, I'm like, why is people doing stuff all in the open? Like, that's just offending me and assaulting me, period. Because where am I at? I didn't sign up for this. And how can I really get out? So I had to like ease my way on out. It's security, but they not caring about what happens as long as that phone is closed. They damn near don't care if somebody died up in there. Ain't nobody can film it. It was a whole bunch of famous people, like 4 famous people and then some Instagram models. Mm-hmm. And the whole time he just was like trying to undress me with his eyes. And I was thinking like, this is really no cap. Because at that time, I always been skinny. So at that time, the son who came up to me, I was like, boy, is it because I resemble your mom? Like, like Kim Porter, like stuff like that. Like, you just never know. Like, I feel like, P. Diddy does have a type. I feel like everybody that was in that house, it was a certain type of person. It was a certain type of something that he wanted and what he liked. And you could just tell, like, he get whatever he wants. That's why he has no problem touching on you, being all in your face, popping up on you, being obnoxious, and just hounding you until you do what he say. And that's just how the industry is already, especially him, because he got a lot of money, So they probably like, do you want this opportunity or what? And I'm like, not that damn bad, but I do want it. I do. But if I already got a bad vibe and I'm seeing stuff that you're into, I already know how this is going to be. So I don't want to, like, ignore some red flags and then I'll be in trouble because of you. Like, literally in trouble. Like, we know his past, like, Shine, the rapper, being in jail because of him. Like, don't think just because I'm from where I'm from, you could just do anything. And that's why I never really said nothing about it, because I just feel like, who am I? He got money. Like, ain't nobody going to believe me. But I have all the receipts. I have it all in my Snap to this day. It never went nowhere. That was just my experience just being in Miami for the first time. I didn't know that I was going to end up at P. Diddy's house. When I got my phone back, I took videos when I was going to the house before I knew this was some weird shit. And then when I got my phone, I ended up, recording. And then I had the shoes on. I left with the shoes on because I don't know where I put my shoes at when I put those on.
Okay, we're going to stop it right there. So, again, she finishes off by saying she has the proof. It's on her Snapchat. So if it's on her Snapchat, when I thought that once you put something on Snapchat, it doesn't stay on, but for 24 hours. Now, maybe Snapchat has changed over the years. I knew I had a Snapchat account, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And I know then that when you put something on Snapchat, it only stays for 24 hours and then it's erased. Maybe Snapchat has changed their format to where you can upload video or photographs and they'll stay on there until you take them down. I don't know. But she's saying that she's taken footage before she got to the house. And then she's saying that she took video after she left the house. And then she also says that she has the house slippers that was given to her before she entered the home. So I'm guessing that this is her proof. So maybe she has the proof. I'm not saying that, first off, Tania, I'm not saying that your story, or I'm not saying that her story and what she's saying is not truth, because I don't have any proof of that. I wasn't there. So I cannot say that it's not true, and I cannot say that it's not fact. But what I'll say is that embellishment, much. I think she's embellishing the story a little bit at how she's explaining it and what she's saying, what was going on there. I don't think it's 100% fact because of the way she's telling the story. It just seems to be all over the place, but that's neither here nor there. Again, I am not judging her story and saying that it's completely fake or false, or as they say, cap. But I think that she kind of like added a little bit more on there to make it a little bit more interesting. Again, she's been on the Soft White Underbelly 3 different times. She told the story the first time, but it was only a little bit. Then the second time she was on there, I've seen only a little bit of that just to make sure that I can kind of like get the gist of the story to follow it in steps. And then, of course, I watched the third, or the one that she just premiered on. Again, I cannot say this enough. I'm not saying that her story is false or is fake, but I think that it is embellished just from how she's telling this story. And if it is truth that she has photographed videos, or even the house slippers that she says she kept on, then that's proof that there's a possibility that she was there. And if that is the case, then there is a possibility, because of the fact that she told the story on a platform. And I think Soft White Underbelly, last time I checked, they got over 3 million subscribers. So he's pretty big. It's a pretty big platform. A lot of followers, a lot of viewers. And being that this story is around a high-profile case such as Sean Diddy Combs, there's a possibility that she might be called in to testify. So we're going to keep that in mind, and I hope she keeps that in mind herself. She pretty much told on herself. But it's interesting to say, or interesting to note that a lot of individuals in the comments section believe every word that she says and saying that, okay, it's truth. She's telling the truth. Okay, well, we shall see. And just like the 5 new allegations that has popped up, thanks again to Tony Busby. Give it to Tony Busby. He's doing such a wonderful, wonderful job. Hardworking lawyer. From out of Houston, Texas, 120 people who filed their lawsuit against allegations on Sean Diddy Combs' freak-off sessions and parties. And as we spoke at the beginning of the podcast, again, there's 2 Jane Does and 3 John Does. And again, I myself, I have to stop and I'm saying, okay, how much is any of this stuff is true? I mean, how much is any of this stuff? Not saying that it's not true, but I'll change that for lack of better words. I'm sorry. Not saying that it's not true. How much of it is factual? I'll say that. And the way people are painting Diddy out to be, it's almost like if you go back through history, and it seems as though every 20, I'll say from every 30 to 20 to maybe 10 years, there is some kind of deranged psychopath dictator or someone with a lot of money and public persona crops up or pops up in this space that we call the human condition. They pop up and they become these polarized individuals. So you have, and I'm going to name these people because this is what people are painting Diddy or painting Sean to be. So you have Joseph Stalin, who unalived millions and millions of people. You have Adolf Hitler, who unalived millions and millions of people. Then you have someone like Idi Amin from Africa, who unalived millions of people. Then you have this individual called Pol Pot from Cambodia. The killing fields, who unalived millions of his people. Then you have Saddam Hussein. Then you have Jeffrey Epstein. And now you have Diddy. And it seems as though these reports or these allegations that are coming out is really painting Sean Combs as this evil, extremely evil dictator. And that's what it's seemingly to being hung in the air as he's already being judged way before his trial is set or way before his trial begins. That's why I'm thinking that, okay, they're saying that the trial is set for May of 2025. But with these allegations that keep coming up and these stories that are being told over and over again and being regurgitated by many different platforms and many different content creators, I'm thinking that it's going to be pushed back. It might not start until the end of 2025. Who knows? Maybe 2026. But again, from the newest 5 that popped up, incredible stories, incredible. I gotta stop saying stories because I don't want to make it seem like they're lying, because no one knows but these individuals that are coming through with the lawsuits. But I had a chance to listen to, and I'm not going to read it because, I gotten kind of tired of reading this information, but we're gonna play the explanation from a lawyer. I forgot her name, but she explained the charges and their allegations.
The latest filings span nearly 3 decades, from 1995 to 2021, and detail different accounts of horrific sexual assault. In 95, a woman says she attended a party for Notorious B.I.G.'s music video, One More Chance. It was there she claims Combs raped her in a bathroom. The woman said Combs brought her into the bathroom to talk privately and then began kissing her unexpectedly. She says she tried to pull away and he allegedly slammed her head into the wall, which caused her to fall to the floor. When she was on the floor, the producer allegedly hit her again, lifted her dress, and raped her. After, Combs allegedly threatened her by saying, "You better not tell anyone about this or you'll disappear." A John Doe says he was just 16 years old when the mogul fondled him at one of his white parties in 1998. The male plaintiff alleges Combs told him he had the look of a star and then ordered him to drop his pants. He claims Combs explained to him that it was a rite of passage to becoming a music star and allegedly asked him, "Don't you want to break into the business?" The then teen says he complied out of fear, anxiety, and the power imbalance he felt with Combs, and later realized what he says happened was sexual assault. In 2004, another Jane Doe alleges Combs raped her in a hotel room after he invited her and a friend there for a party. Combs allegedly gave them drinks and told them to snort cocaine. The woman, who was a freshman in college, says Combs forced her friend to perform oral sex on him and threatened to kill them if they didn't comply. In 2006, another John Doe, who was a security guard at the now infamous white parties, claims he was assaulted by Combs. The man says he began to feel extremely ill at the party after drinking 2 drinks with alcohol that were provided by Combs. The accuser says he was disoriented and alleges the Bad Boy Records founder forcibly pushed him into an open van, held him down, and assaulted him. In 2008, another man claims he was assaulted by Combs in a New York Macy's. This John Doe says he was an advisor at Echo Clothing, a competitor of the mogul's Sean John clothing line. He claims he was in a stockroom at Macy's in Manhattan when Combs and 3 bodyguards entered. Doe alleges he was turning a corner in the stockroom when he was hit around the base of the neck, possibly with a pistol. He says this forced him to his hands and knees, and he saw that each of Diddy's bodyguards had in their waistbands. The man alleges he heard multiple voices saying things like, "I'll kill you." Combs allegedly approached the man and forcefully, brutally, and orally raped him for at least 2 minutes. According to the suit, after Combs was finished, he threw Doe's head aside and said words to the effect of, "Shut up or I'll kill you." And in 2021, another man claims he was drugged and assaulted by Combs and multiple other unnamed men at a party. This John Doe says he became disoriented after a drink at a New York party. He claims he was trying to leave when he heard another man say, "Hold on," and promise to help him. Doe says he remembers being in a bedroom, unable to speak, move, or fight back. He says multiple men began assaulting him through sodomy and other forced acts. The man says he distinctly remembers seeing Combs above him naked at one point during the assault. The male plaintiff says that he was sodomized by at least 3 men. Combs was already facing a number of civil lawsuits accusing him of sexual misconduct and other illegal activity, which he has denied all those allegations. The disgraced mogul, who remains locked up in a federal detention center in Brooklyn, has denied the recent allegations against him. Through his attorneys, they say, quote, "Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in the facts, their legal defenses, and the integrity of the judicial process. In court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs has never assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman."
Okay, there you have it. Those were the most recent filings. Again, coming from the law firm of Mr. Busby, Tony Busby, that is, out of Houston. So again, as I say, this the way that these cases or these filings that are coming up, these incredible stories that are being told about Diddy, again, it seems as though they're really painting him out to be a very, 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 almost worse than any other dictator on this planet. Worse than even Jeffrey Epstein. But this is going to be very interesting how it unfolds. Again, I'm gonna try to follow. I'm gonna try to grasp at new information. And it seems as though what I have an interest of is I hear these allegations. I'm gonna listen to them and pick them apart, because again, if you have an inkling of discernment, of cognitive thinking, some of these allegations seem to be almost too incredible of a story. And again, as many of them are coming up, it's going to be interesting to find out almost what is next. That's what it seems like. What is next? Which is going to be next? Which is going to be the next one? Is the next one going to be even more incredible? Because it keeps building. And as it keeps building, I would say is giving the Diddy's defense, it gives them more to work with, because as these individuals that are filing these lawsuits, there's a possibility that they will be called in to testify. They're going to be made to be held accountable to their stories. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep my eye on this, and we're gonna kind of take our time with it and pull it apart piece by piece to see what is actually going on, because this is getting a little bit too much in my unpopular opinion. This is getting a little bit too much. So far, the only filing or the only lawsuit that holds any type of water is the one that Cassie was the one that filed, the first one. Even this story of this so-called book that Kim Porter, rest in peace, even this so-called book that has been popular for the last month or so on YouTube, that story has died down, and many has said that whole book is false, and that the author of the book made it up. It has now been taken off of Amazon. They just took it down. So again, as these stories continue to unwind and being presented to the public, we're going to look at them, kind of dissect them, and I'm going to do as what I do, and I'm going to research deeper. So again, thank you so much for joining the Billy Flint Experience. I'm your host, Billy Flint. You're coming here live from Germany. We wish everyone a wonderful rest of the week. Today is Wednesday, hump day, so weekend is almost here. Stay safe, take care of yourself, and we'll be with you again soon. Have a great one.
Go on, you've got another 5 seconds. Say something outrageous.
You dirty bastard.
Go on, again.
You dirty fucker.
What a clever boy.
What a fucking rotter.
Well, that's it for tonight.